All right. Let's get the show on the road. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Two videos. Levi Nicks. The DoorDash girl situation just took a brutal turn. Oh yeah, I heard about that. There's been some things, and Ella DeGeneres may have just lost everything.
Who would have
So
thought
first,
delivering a cheesy gordita crunch at midnight would have turned into an 8-year prison sentence? It's a brutal world we live in. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's an easy way to support the channel for free. Let's get off into this.
The TikTok DoorDash girl filmed a naked man passed out inside his own home and then posted it for nearly 30 million people to see, and then claimed that she was the victim. So, naturally, she got hit with 2 felony charges.
That's the typical lift. They are always the victim.
And after months of failed plea negotiations, she has decided to fight this thing in front of a jury.
This is related. They just punished me for posting about my while door dashing. They just fired me.
She's about one sneeze away from losing a chromosome. This poor girl, bro.
Police are doing nothing.
Stupid,
I
bro.
lost my job. That was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
Now, if you watched my last video on this case, you would know that we've been waiting forever for something to actually happen in this case.
Yeah.
I literally flew to Oswego, New York to watch Olivia Henderson appear in court, only to just, get there, see everyone. I saw her there. And then everything got postponed. Or, well, it wasn't technically postponed because it got moved up to county court. So essentially, I just had to pack up my bags, go home, and waited. Then she got indicted months later. And now, after even more months of court dates and motions, and I guess trying to work things out behind the scenes, we finally know what's going on because Olivia Henderson is preparing to go to trial.
The internet can't seem to get enough of the criminal case of Olivia Henderson.
I'll be honest, she looks like she was made in a hurry. Why does she look like an assistant librarian? Like she ain't even the main one.
The now former DoorDash driver on TikTok claiming she was harassed by a customer, naked, asleep on his couch, when she delivered his order last year. But
where's that same energy, though? Like, you walking down this hall, you ain't got that same energy?
then police charged her because she recorded him and posted the video.
So she appeared in Oswego County Court again on July 31st, and Olivia and prosecutors have failed to reach a plea agreement, which is pretty big because remember, what she's accused of doing here back in October 2025, Olivia was delivering a DoorDash order when she arrived at a customer's house, and according to her, she found the door open. And inside was a dude passed out.
I'ma find the door open
On his couch, naked from the waist down. Police later said that he was drunk, unconscious, and incapacitated. So Olivia recorded him from the outside of the apartment and
which begs the question, how did this man even order a cheesy gordita crunch?
posted the footage to TikTok, where it absolutely exploded. And we're talking 30 million views. I mean, that is a lot of people seeing a passed out dude naked. That is not ideal, especially
That is a lot. 30 million is a lot.
because obviously this was without his consent. Then she also claimed that the man had intentionally exposed himself to her and said that she had been assaulted.
Because put a one in the chat if you agree with this. I believe this should be in the same realm as somebody who's a peeping Tom. You want to film somebody in their house, butt booty naked, with their phallus out. That's the same thing as a peeping Tom. That's weirdo behavior. Those guys get time.
Yeah.
Those guys get in serious trouble. I think she should get in at least the same amount of trouble if she was a man doing this.
Woman who recorded a man without his permission while he was unconscious claimed that she was assaulted by said unconscious man. Something's not adding up here. Regardless, police investigated this and said they found no evidence that an assault actually occurred. So they said there was no physical contact, and their investigation concluded the man had been unconscious on his couch because of alcohol. And last time I checked, it's not illegal to pass out drunk on your own sofa. It is very unfortunate that the dude managed to leave his door open though. Regardless though, the man wasn't charged, Olivia was. And she's now facing 2 felony charges, 2nd-degree unlawful surveillance and 1st-degree dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. So this is the act of filming him and then the act of posting these videos on TikTok.
But the fact that she's got the liberal hive mind to think that she was going to post this and be labeled a victim is wild work. This is a huge problem we have right now in America, is that it's always feelings over facts where it should be facts over feelings.
Here's where this update gets really interesting, because for months, I mean, one of my biggest questions was, how do you defend this? Because, you know, she filmed it and she posted it.
Yeah.
That's what she's being charged for. Well, I would think this would be case closed because there isn't too much mystery about it. And apparently, her own attorney also agrees with that part. So her public defender, David Smallwood, told News Channel 9, I think there's very little argument on what the evidence actually is, on what actually happened.
Her public defender challenging the prosecution's narrative she invaded her victim's privacy, an argument he's asking the judge to rule on.
Well, it is reasonable to expect for most people that you have privacy. If you do something to not have privacy, then you no longer have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Emphasizing it was the customer who left the solid door open with just the glass door as the barrier to his home.
And that seems to be the argument they're preparing to take into court. They're not really fighting over whether Olivia filmed and posted the man. They're fighting over whether doing that actually meets the legal requirement of, these felony charges. And I guess a huge part of this argument comes down to two questions. First, how much privacy can you legally expect from inside your home when your front door is open?
You should expect a ton.
Yeah.
You should expect a ton of privacy if you're in your own freaking home. Why would I not expect any privacy, dude? If common sense was currency, this chick would be broke.
And
Oh, 100% she would be.
number two, was this man's front door even open in the first place? Because Olivia's attorney is now leaning hard into that first question. Smallwood says the homeowner's door was left wide open, exposing him to the public. Basically, the defense appears to be arguing, yes, this man was inside his own home, but the door was wide open, so anyone could see him from the street. So essentially, if his door was wide open and someone standing outside could see him, did he still have reasonable expectation that no one would see or record him? And I guess that...
I mean, if your door is wide open, it's just like the First Amendment audit, guys. Do you guys ever see those? Do you guys ever watch those videos? God, I freaking love those videos where these guys are standing outside of a public building on a public sidewalk and they're filming inside the building. They're like, you can't film here. And he's like, why? And then these people get so mad. But for this guy, he was passed out. He did have his door open. So I kind of, I smell what the Rock is cooking on that. But you shouldn't have filmed it, number one, and you shouldn't have posted it, number two. And that's the big problem with me. And the other big problem is that you guys haven't gave me a ring in a while with Connect With Me. Connect With Me is a great service, though. If you are a creator, it's really easy, dude. You can sign up. They do an 80-20 split. So if you're a consultant, you're a creator, you're somebody that has people that want your advice, you're a coach, something like that, but you need a number and you don't want to give out your personal number, this is a great way to do it. You can call, you can set the times you want to be called. They're working on text messaging, so Connect With Me is a great app. I would highly suggest it for anybody that's in consulting, coaching, or anything when it comes to having people that want to call you, clients, or anything like that. This is a great service. Let's get back off into this video.
Distinction matters because the unlawful surveillance charge involves recording someone at a place and time which that person has a reasonable expectation of privacy. This isn't just like Olivia's attorney standing up there and going, well, what she did wasn't that bad. No, he's attacking the actual part that the prosecutors have to prove. I can at least understand the legal question they're raising. Like, if you're standing naked in front of a giant open window facing a crowded sidewalk, do you really think no one's going to see you? But I guess that brings us to the second question. Because before we spend 10 minutes debating on what an open door does to your right to privacy, I would like to know whether this door was actually open or not, because Olivia is saying it wasn't. We had early reports saying that it was like
this dude was so drunk he was like, hopefully she'll just bring it straight to the couch and then slip the gordita crunch in my mouth. That's crazy work. I remember when pizza guys used to come inside. Y'all remember that? Come inside. You guys are sick. I remember when they used to walk in the house, hand you the pizza. You could say what's up to them. Those days are dead and gone.
Open but not fully open, and that she pushed it open. But the big problem with that is we haven't seen any proof that that was the case. All we really have is Olivia's side of the story, and obviously the video. So essentially, Olivia's maintained that she arrived and found that door open. And some of the more recent reporting describes it that way too. The Oswego County News reported in June that the police said that she arrived to the customer's apartment and found the door open. But if you remember the original controversy, people were going frame by frame through the footage and were questioning whether that was actually what happened. Because you had a whole bunch of claims online, at least early on in the story, where people said the door wasn't wide open and that Olivia maybe pushed it further open herself before filming inside. And that obviously would be a very different situation, because obviously
you'd have to prove that. So you'd have to have a Ring camera. You'd have to have something to implicate that she actually opened the door.
There's a massive difference between I walked up to this house and there was a naked man visible right there, or she walked up, the door was kind of open but not fully open. She kind of saw a glimpse of the guy and then pushed open. I don't know. There was also some early reporting alleging there was Ring camera footage from a neighbor. So again, this will be really interesting to see if that's true or not. And right now, based on the reporting we have, I don't think we should pretend that the question has been completely settled. What we do know is that police said Olivia recorded the man from outside the apartment. We know Olivia says the front door was open. And now we also know that her attorney is arguing that the door was wide open and that this man gave up some reasonable expectation of privacy. But whether the evidence...
I don't think that gives you... I mean, maybe you can film them, but to post it is different.
actually backs that up, I guess we'll see that in court. Because obviously, if the entire defense leans on the dude's door being wide open, hopefully nothing comes out that disproves that. But regardless, despite all of that, all the headlines are now saying Olivia Henderson is officially going to trial. And there will be one big hurdle before we actually get there, because her attorney is trying to get these charges thrown out. Smallwood has asked the judge to review the grand jury record and determine whether prosecutors gave enough evidence to actually support an indictment. And remember, this grand jury is the reason Olivia ended up in the county court in the first place. So back in May, prosecutors presented their evidence privately to a grand jury, and the grand jury voted to indict Olivia on both felony charges. And no, that doesn't mean they found her guilty. It means the prosecutors have cleared the hurdle necessary to move forward with the case. But now, Olivia's defense is challenging that indictment. And based on Smallwood's comments, we have a much better idea of why. He isn't really...
But, dude, here's my whole thing, though. Dude, if it was a guy, and put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this, if it was a dude, it'd be no question. If it was a guy, DoorDash delivery guy, right? He brought it up to the front steps. He brought it up to the porch, to the doormat. There was a naked chick on the inside. Filmed the naked chick, posted it online. Bro, they would get him so quick. Yep. They call him a peeping Tom. It'd be a wrap for him. I want the same energy when it comes to prosecuting men as it does to prosecuting women for the same exact thing. We need to get to a point, if women want equality, we got to eventually give it to them. And that would be that equality we talk about and that they ask for. You can't just film people in their house, dude. It's just like if somebody was in a high-rise apartment bucking, somebody sitting there just blowing another girl's back out and you're filming it and posting it, that's a problem. You can't do that. And the fact that it's a woman now doing it, they want to have all this process and, well, I don't know, we don't. She needs to get hit with something. She can't just walk away scot-free with probation. It's got to be something.
Disputing the basic sequence of events. Again, he basically just said there's really no arguing what the evidence is, which is also kind of a wild sentence to hear from a defense attorney in a case like this, because, you know, that's been the point from the beginning. Like, at the end of the day here, we're not trying to figure out who held the camera and who posted these videos. Even Olivia herself has publicly talked about posting it and why she believed she was justified in doing so. So the legal fight is over whether those actions actually satisfies the crimes prosecutors were charging her with, and if the judge agrees with the defense that they don't. So who knows? I mean, the charges could actually be dismissed at Olivia's next court date on September 9th. So technically, there is still a path that she might not get a trial at all. But if that...
Bro, just also imagine. Imagine this, bro. You're 23, and you're known for the rest of your life as the DoorDash girl. Imagine, bro. That'd be so brutal. So, what brings you in? Well, I'm just looking to apply for a job. You know, it's really hard out there having these 2 felonies on my record. What are your felonies for? I mean... Do you know about the DoorDash girl? That's me. Stupid. I'm the DoorDash girl. God, you gotta feel dumber than a bag of hammers, bro. She's 1 fry short of a Happy Meal, poor baby. Oh my God, I'm the DoorDash girl.
Challenge fails, we're going to court. Because the other huge update from this hearing is that Olivia and the prosecutors have failed to reach a plea agreement. And this is interesting to me because in my last video, I said a plea deal seemed like the most likely way this would all end. Apparently not, though. At least not so far. I mean, we don't...
Wait, why? She should just take the plea. If it's a year or 2 years, take the plea, eat your little prison loaf, get out, be the DoorDash girl, start a podcast, you know, do an OnlyFans. Boom, there you go. That's going to be her trajectory now. Is if she started an OF, she'd be just fine. This is the sad world we live in now, where women know if it all comes crumbling down, you can just sell your balloon knot and your taco tunnel and your chocolate starfish and your, you know, bearded axe wound and your gut locker and your... You know, your scrambled eggs between the legs, your vertical smile. You can just sell all that online and you're fine.
You know exactly what was offered during these negotiations, what Olivia would want to accept or not, or which side refused to budge. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what's going on, but I am surprised a plea deal didn't happen. And the trial can happen as early as October if all this goes through. Although there is actually another unrelated trial affecting the court's schedule. So if that gets in the way, the trial
September 9th, that's coming up quick.
Would actually happen in January, which I think I was in Oswego in January of 2020 of this year. So if we actually don't go to trial for a full year after the first time I appeared, that would be crazy. Regardless, it was very...
That's what a lot of these cases do, though. They take forever, man.
cold there in January, I can confirm. This would definitely be a very interesting case to be a juror on, though. Like, imagine the shock, not hearing about any of this, and you find out some woman did this on TikTok, and you're sitting here like, there's no way this is real, but it is. This is definitely a top 10 jury duty trial. The one that takes the cake is absolutely the TikTok psychic one, though. I mean, that must have been a full-on trip for everyone who was a juror on that case. But regardless, this is just a horror story of how some dude passed out drunk in his apartment and woke up the next morning with 30 million people having seen his junk. That's not ideal. But there is also another part of this that I don't want to get lost in the legal arguments. Like, even if Olivia could see this man from where she was standing, seeing someone and recording their naked body, that's two different things. And recording it and then posting it for nearly 30.
See, that's my whole thing. Like, recording it, one thing. Posting it, a whole other thing. She did both. She didn't just do one, she did both. And that's the big problem. That's the big problem. Let's go to I did a video of this a while back.
October 12th, 2020.
This is when it first happened. So this was 3 months ago. Let's go over some of the comments. The fact that she still thinks she's the victim is peak women being allergic to accountability. Roles reversed, the man would already be in jail. Facts. She's richly deserves the full 8 years. She implied it was SA, how absolutely evil she is. Dude, here's where I'm at with this. If you accuse somebody of doing something and it's a false accusation, you should have to go to prison for the maximum amount of time they would have received if they would have got prosecuted. Put them one in the chat if you agree. You want to claim SA, and we find out that you lied about it and made it up. I think you should go to prison for that time. What's creepy about this young lady is how happy she is to be the victim. That's the liberal left, bro. This was a guy, he would be thrown in under jail. She thought she would shame him. She was the one who'd feel ashamed by her actions. She got what she wanted. She went viral. He should sue her. She deserves to be prosecuted. Looks like she's the victim of her own stupidity. Why is there no penalty for filing a false SA report? This needs to be clamped down on. I agree, Bucky. This is my whole thing, dude. This is a false accusation. Men have had their lives ruined over this stuff. And yet she's fine. She's fine with this. God bless the guy's Ring door camera. She had one freaking job. Drop off the cheesy gordita crunch and walk away. She's also going to potentially face a life-ruining civil case after the sentencing hearing. Yeah, because I bet this guy will take her back to court for ruining his life. Trial better be live-streamed. He wasn't able to have any privacy, neither should she. I love this. They should 100%, or put it on, or live-stream it on TikTok. She should also have been charged with making a false report to police. She claimed to be SA'd by this man. And this is Rebecca Gomez. This is a woman saying this. Shout out to her. An adult woman who would have set the food on the door, closed it, and left. She acted like a giddy child about it. Yep. I hope she gets the full 8 years and 10 years of probation. Any money she makes from this should go to him. I agree. She thought it was a TikTok moment to destroy a man and get praise. This is beyond poisonous. Jail is demanded by us DoorDash hate seekers. Deep misandry. Imagine ordering food late at night, you fall asleep, and some creep breaks into your house to film you to get some internet clicks and try to ruin your life. Imagine. 20 years minimum is what she deserves. I hope that poor man gets free food for life. Imagine DoorDash is like, hey man, we know that, you know, she really kind of exposed your pickle there, so you get free pickles for life. When she gets out, TikTok won't even be a thing anymore. Just imagine the uproar if this was the other way around and she was the one videoed, passed out on the couch. This is just nuts. I agree, Craig. I agree. She'll get probation and time served. Wait and see. The system is very much rigged. It also is her first offense, from my understanding. So I'm not saying the girl should get life. But if a dude was to do this, she should get that equivalent. She should have just left the food, then called the police if she was really concerned about him, because he might have been dead. Equal crime, equal treatment. I agree. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. The thing is, she most likely really believes her own BS, even when she's sitting in court watching these videos. This is the world we now live in, though, chat, where these women really do think that they're the victim. Constantly. Constantly the victim. And the thing is when you're the victim, you're always right. Isn't it funny? I'm the victim. I'm right. You're wrong. This is the fall of civilization, in my opinion. When the person that screams the loudest is always the most right, the one that's the most upset is always right, the one that's the most offended is always right, that's bad. It's not necessarily a good thing when the person that plays victim is always correct. It's how people get in trouble. It's how false accusations ruin people's lives. Look at the football players that have been accused of SA. It's been fake and they've been in prison for years, and the girl comes back out, I'm sorry. Look how many times has that happened? These other guys that get all these false accusations. Look at the Tates. So many times they've been arrested Nothing's happened to them. Sat in a Romanian prison. I think they're rearrested right now off of baseless claims. They're just arresting these guys. Where's the evidence? Where's the women coming forward? And even though I've seen some women coming forward, they've been exposed for lying. I'm not saying the guys are innocent. I don't know enough about the case, but I'm just saying in general, there's a lot of guys that are accused of things that never happened. There's also probably a lot of women that don't come forward. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. It really is. But it's humiliating on both sides. When you accuse a man falsely, you should have to serve that time. I'm just saying, dude. The longer that we say this is okay, the longer it happens.
Yep.
But as soon as we say it's not okay, that's when things change. Things are not changing, though, because it's fine. We got slogans like, believe all women. That's horrible. It's terrible. You shouldn't believe everybody. You should be very skeptical of anything anybody tells you, in my opinion. I know I am. I question everything. So, just be careful out there. I guess the life lesson from this is don't order a cheesy Gordita Crunch at 12 midnight. Because you might get exposed. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's always good to have you guys out, man. Until next time. Peace. You know, Ellen DeGeneres is one of those people that it looks like her family tree is a wreath. Stick around to the end. I'm going to cover some comments of a previous video about this. And if you would, please subscribe to the channel. It's a great way to support for free, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Let's get off into it.
Background if you are new here. Don't worry, I will keep it short. Now, Jim Caviezel is the actor who played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. Years later, he starred in Sound of Freedom, a movie based on real child rescue operations.
I like this guy.
After that movie came out, Caviezel became one of the loudest voices in Hollywood, talking about child exploitation. That did not make him popular in the industry. It made him a target. Mel Gibson directed The Passion of the Christ, and the two of them have known each other and worked together for years. Gibson has made his own public comments about how Hollywood treats people who speak out, which is part of why his name keeps coming up alongside.
Yeah, you get blackballed. Should I do an episode about Mel Gibson? I've seen a couple of them. Put a one in the chat if you think I should.
Caviezel's in this story. Ellen DeGeneres ran her talk show for almost 20 years. Her whole brand was built on one phrase, be kind. The show ended in 2022 after a
be kind. It should have just been be evil.
Workplace scandal, and she has mostly stayed out of the spotlight since. Since the Epstein files started coming out, people have gone back through old Ellen clips looking for anything that reads differently now. That search is what led to this whole story. Keep in mind, none of this happens in a vacuum. Diddy's federal case brought a wave of attention back to how the entertainment industry protects its biggest names. That renewed attention is part of why old daytime TV clips are suddenly getting a second look. Let's start with the claim itself. Clips from the Ellen DeGeneres show that have been online for years are suddenly being scrubbed, geo-blocked in some countries, hit with copyright strikes that appeared long after the videos were posted. That is strange on its own. Copyright claims almost always show up fast, right after a video goes up, not years later, out of nowhere. So ask yourself the obvious question, why now? Why these specific clips, and not the thousands of other Ellen clips still sitting online without a...
She's trying to cover her tracks, bruh. She's trying to get up out this spotlight. She don't want people knowing she's living in Ireland.
Single flag. Jim Caviezel has an answer, and it's not the one anyone in the entertainment industry wants people repeating. Take a second and think about how copyright takedowns usually work. A creator uploads something they don't own, a platform gets notified, and the video comes down within days, sometimes hours. That is the normal pattern, and it happens fast because rights holders are watching closely from the start. What's happening with these Ellen clips does not match that pattern at all. These are clips that have been sitting online, viewed by millions, shared, reposted, and left alone for years. Then, all at once, they start disappearing. That kind of delayed, sudden action usually means one thing. Somebody wasn't paying close attention to this footage until very recently, and once they started paying attention, they wanted it gone fast.
I just can't, every time I look at her, she looks like a gremlin. Shots fired! Like with that nose and the piercing blue eyes, like this is stuff you see in, like you drive and look under a bridge. This is the trolls that you see.
The difference between routine housekeeping and a scramble. One of those looks calm and predictable. The other looks like damage control, and the timing here lines up a lot closer to the second one.
During the 5 screenings, each screening, there was a talking going on, and I was like watching the audience going, what? The second time it happened, again, third time, talking in this one particular spot. And I'm thinking, what, did we do something wrong or something? But so then one more time it happened. At the end, I was asking about the movie, and I asked him about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against.
Wow.
Epstein Island isn't the only sex island out there, and Tim Ballard takes down one of the film.
And I think Americans understand that they
Or
all.
for you know it, Jim Caviezel, he gonna be gone. It's sad to see, but it's like the people that talk about this stuff, they don't last long. You know what else doesn't last long? The fact that you guys haven't gone and downloaded Free Cash. You can scan this QR code, click the link in the description. You can get $10 on me. Don't ever say Loki and I have never done anything for you guys, okay?
Won't they do?
Don't ever say it. But it's super simple. You can cash out when you hit 20 bucks. Average time to cash out is like 17, 20 minutes. That's more than some people make at their freaking jobs. Imagine you could just play mobile games. You can get paid. You can cash out at 20 bucks. I'm getting you halfway there. He's halfway there. Oh, living on Epstein Island.
Also have precious pearls in their children, and they don't want them taken. And they're looking at the government now and going, what are you doing? What are the three letter agencies doing? They're not doing their job, especially when 85,000 children crossed the border this last year and disappeared. Where did they disappear to?
Caviezel is not some random account posting theories from behind a screen name. He is a Hollywood actor with decades in the industry, and he has put his career on the line to keep talking about this. Now let's look at one clip.
There's a show he's in called Person of Interest, I believe. It's actually a pretty solid show, dude.
People bring up more than almost any other. It stops people cold the first time they see it. Sandra Bullock was on the show talking about her skincare routine. Normal daytime TV
the Korean baby foreskin facials
stuff at first. Then she started describing an extreme facial treatment. She seemed hesitant to name it directly. Ellen jumped in and said it for her, live, in front of the whole studio.
Bro, I bet Hollywood would drink elephant semen if they knew it made them look young. They would do. We should come out with something, chat. We should come out with the elephant dung facial, where celebrities have to rub poop on their faces. They would do it. I bet you they would do it, dude.
Audience. The treatment involved foreskin from a Korean baby.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this.
Those that I thought would appreciate it. What do you mean by that? Hey, how do you bring that up casually? Hey, just curious, have you ever heard of a foreskin facial? Would you be interested? The pitch on that's got to be brutal. That's a tough pitch. So I've got these baby foreskins imported from Korea. You want to put some on your face? Like, how do you even talk about that?
Way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes.
I demand, donde está my foreskin? What did y'all do this with mine when I was a kiddo? Did Brad Pitt get my foreskin? I want to know.
Through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosting.
I want my future children. I want their foreskins Apple and geotagged.
You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
The crowd laughed. Ellen laughed. It got packaged as the kind of shocking celebrity overshare talk shows love. Weird enough to be memorable, funny enough that nobody had to sit with it. Think about how strange that moment actually was, once you strip away the laugh track. A guest describes a treatment. She hesitates to name it. The host names it for her, on live television, in front of a studio full of people, and then everyone moves on like nothing happened.
Weird,
At the time, almost nobody stopped to question it. It was one more strange moment in a show full of strange moments, and daytime TV has always leaned on shock value to keep people watching. But here's the thing people are pointing out now. We know a lot more today than we did
Since survivors have testified in court,
we now have real documentation that wealthy people were obsessed with youth and with things taken from young bodies. That is not a fringe theory anymore. It has shown up in courtrooms.
It's absolutely listed. It's been around in modern science since the 1930s. You can actually, there's a synthetic form and there's a regular, natural form, which is caused by torturing little kids to get their adrenaline up, essentially, and then extracting it from them. When you sit and so I brought this up a few years ago, and all of a sudden I was attacked by every media. Look it up. It's there. They absolutely went after me. And the next day, I never heard from my agency for 14.
So the question becomes simple. What if that clip was never really a joke? What if the laughter was doing a job, teaching an audience to swallow something uncomfortable without ever reacting to it?
Bro, with these shows like this, though, they they tell you when to laugh. They tell you when to clap. These shows are produced. I was over hanging out with some of Cass's family, and they were watching one of the, like J Hud, the Jennifer Hudson show, and everything she said, people are just, oh yeah, I saw. I'm like, this is just so organized. There's a light above that says applause loudly, scream. It's all orchestrated, bro.
Clip is one of the ones now flagged and disappearing. Ask yourself what is really in the footage they most want gone. Jim Caviezel did not fade quietly after Sound of Freedom. He went the other way completely. He has said he personally approached major names in entertainment, people with massive platforms, and asked them to speak up about child exploitation. He wanted them to use their reach the way he was using his.
People think that that's not something that happens here in the United States. Well, absolutely it does. Over 300,000 children under the ages of 18 were sucked into the deepest recesses of hell, and it's disgusting that the media hasn't covered it like they should. There obviously is really good media like yourself, but others that completely ignore it. And I think people need to understand, American people are starting to understand what is actually going on, and are sick and tired of it.
According to Caviezel,
I agree,
most of them
terrible.
said nothing.
As a man with a child now, that is really disheartening. 300,000 children, that's awful.
Daytime hosts with millions of daily viewers, people whose words could shift a national conversation.
Then Ellen's on here doing this with Michael Obama. Isn't this the clip they said she had a penis?
Overnight. Silence. The industry's response to Caviezel himself was fast and familiar. They called him a conspiracy theorist. It's the same label that got used on Mel Gibson years earlier.
More Christians, these modern day Christians, are more afraid of the devil than they are of God. Let me explain. God could kill the devil without a glance. The devil has no chance against God. This isn't it, God here and the devil here, Jesus here and the devil here. It's this. It's more like, here's a creature, devil, here's a creature, human. I'm going to ask Almighty to come into me and to not be afraid. In Scripture, 365 times, one time every day in the Bible says, do not be afraid.
Here's why that label works so well. You don't have to argue with someone's evidence if you can just convince people not to listen to them in the first place. Stick a name to someone.
That's why they call it a conspiracy theory, right? At this point, as I get older, it feels like conspiracy fact.
Hard enough, and most people stop paying attention before the argument even gets made. But Caviezel had already made peace with that cost. A man who played Jesus Christ on screen, knowing it would hurt his industry standing, and who then watched Sound of Freedom get buried by the same studios connected to Harvey Weinstein, is not a man who backs down over name calling. He didn't go quiet, he got louder. There's another layer to this story, and it goes beyond coded jokes and elite connections. It's about what former staff say the show itself was actually like behind the scenes.
Are we surprised, though, Ellen was in on any of this, dude? 19 years on TV, got gassed up. I don't know about you guys, but some of the worst managers and bosses I've had have been women. It's no surprise to me that Ellen was accused of being a terrible person.
Start with Selena Gomez. She appeared on the show and found out, live, on camera, that there were hidden cameras inside a private dressing room bathroom.
Something? Yes, what? So I thought that you were gonna scare me when I came in. I don't know why. So in my dressing room, you have the bathroom with the cameras. So I put towels all over the camera. And I went and peed in Kobe Bryant's dressing room. Because I was scared.
Well, you're right. I was trying to scare you. You got here an hour early, and I was trying to scare you, and it was too late. So it doesn't matter if you put the stuff over the cameras. I had to be in there, and you got here before I could get. I was going to hide.
See?
You were right.
Yes.
You ruined it.
I'm sorry.
You ruined it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Cameras in the bathroom? Brother, what? How we just gonna breeze over that? Like, that's not a huge... What?
Exactly.
I mean, I have to tuck mine in my socks, so they would have seen a lot.
Okay, I'll get you, my pretty. I'll get you. The last time I saw you was at the teen show.
Her reaction was not playful. It was not the big, exaggerated gasp celebrities give when they're in on a joke. It was raw. She looked genuinely shaken, like someone who just realized a space she trusted was private wasn't. Ellen laughed it off as a prank. But hidden cameras in a private bathroom are not a prank. That's surveillance.
I'm telling you, she looks like the clown from It, just... Psycho.
And the show treated it like a punchline. Justin Bieber has talked about the show pulling at his pants on camera more than once. He's also spoken more broadly about how hard his time in the industry was on him.
My pants, because you always do that thing where you show all my pants down, and it's really annoying. So I'm gonna, just for you.
This is what I'm saying about these talk shows. Clapping because he pulled his pants up, brother.
Back here?
I just wanted to be a good example, and it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me.
Well, and especially having your own mama be like, yeah, did he take my kid? Sick behavior.
They love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Former staff members have come forward too, describing a workplace built on fear. Reports say employees were told never to make eye contact with Ellen in the hallways, never to draw attention to themselves.
But we had to walk on eggshells with her, because when we would be pitching, her snide remarks would be, what am I going to talk to them about? I don't know. I have nothing to say. I don't know. So we would write the whole outline for her, and then the guests would walk off feeling like crap. So it wasn't goodwill for the show. However, she loved kissing ass with all the celebrities, and she really was not in a position to interview the real people because she really couldn't carry a conversation with them. So this is not like bah humbug on my end, because I just did my job and went home. But I feel that for the guests, it was bad goodwill for them. They just really were not able to connect with her.
Even Joe Rogan has...
See, that's my whole thing, dude. Like, these celebrities get so out of their realm, they don't even know how to have a regular conversation with people. They get so disconnected from what people actually live in their lived experience that it makes them so unlikable.
Has weighed in publicly, describing Ellen as mean, which lines up with the picture former staff have been painting for years.
This is crazy. People found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually, that's wild. She lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. But I hadn't already known that, because I had a buddy working for her. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a never.
None of that sounds like a tough boss having a bad day. It sounds like a controlled environment where the rules were unspoken, but
sounds like a lesbian boss. It looks like a troll.
Everyone understood the cost of breaking them. Think about how many people had to stay quiet for that culture to hold for almost 2 decades. Staff, guests, producers, all inside a building where the smiling, kind image on screen and the reality behind the curtain were 2 completely different things. That gap between the public image and the private reality is exactly what keeps pulling people back to these old clips. Once you know what the staff has said, you start watching the reruns differently. Now here's something eagle-eyed viewers started noticing as the show got closer to its final seasons. Shaky hands. Facial twitches that were not there in earlier years. A visible change from the polished, camera-ready version of Ellen people had watched for almost 2 decades. The mainstream explanation is simple. The workplace scandal was brutal. Watching your public image collapse in real time would take a toll on anybody. That's a fair point, and it's worth saying clearly. But here's the question that explanation doesn't fully answer. Stress is not exactly a secret. A public scandal is not classified information. So why would footage of ordinary stress need to be scrubbed with any urgency at all? To be clear, nobody has a confirmed diagnosis to point to here. This part stays firmly in theory territory. But some researchers argue the timing lines up in an uncomfortable way, right around when certain powerful connections seem to fall away. Here's a simple way to think about it. When someone has spent decades inside a system that protects and provides for them, and that system suddenly pulls back, the change can show up in a lot of ways. Nobody outside that person's inner circle really knows for sure, but it's the kind of pattern that makes people ask questions. And look at what happened to Sound of Freedom itself, because the media reaction says a lot. The film was based on real anti-trafficking work, not fiction, not internet speculation. Real operations, real kids.
This film undoubtedly is the best film I've done since The Passion of the Christ, and it was enormous challenge. But these are the things that where when the film is over, you don't leave your seat. Your heart's on fire, and you want to do something. And that's why I was called into this business.
When it came out, plenty of major outlets called it dangerous, called it fringe. One review even mocked the people who watched it. Think about that framing for a second. A movie about rescuing trafficked kids got treated like something you should be embarrassed to see. Here's the part that stands out. Some of those same outlets had spent years covering real anti-trafficking trafficking raids in a positive light, right up until a movie connected those same networks to people with real power and money. That's when the tone flipped. Mel Gibson has made a similar point publicly, saying Hollywood runs on survival, not creativity, and that the industry protects itself first. It's worth sitting with that for a second. The story wasn't the danger of the film itself. The story was who the film's success made uncomfortable, and how fast a coordinated response can move once that discomfort sets in. The movie eventually crossed $100 million at the box office, made on a budget a fraction of that size, after years of being pushed aside. That is not a small detail. That is millions of people deciding to watch it anyway. So here's where everything comes together. The clips are disappearing, the copyright claims are landing on footage that sat untouched for years, and the timing keeps lining up with moments that make people uncomfortable. Caviezel's core argument is simple, and it's worth repeating plainly. Deleted footage is not proof that nothing happened. On its own, it's a sign that someone decided the footage should not be easy to find anymore.
Your name may not appear down here in this world's Hall of Fame. In fact, you may be so unknown that no one knows your name. He never does forget. And in his Hall of Fame, for all the famous names on earth, and my name up there.
None of this proves a specific claim by itself, but it connects to things that are already documented and on the public record. The unsealed Epstein files, Diddy's federal conviction, years of survivor testimony that took a long time to be taken seriously. Caviezel stood in front of an industry that wanted him quiet, got labeled a conspiracy theorist for it, and kept talking anyway. Whether you agree with every claim he's made or not, that part is not up for debate. It happened in public, on the record. And that's
what I'm saying. It'll get to the point, and I'm hoping it happens soon, and I think we're already on our way here, dude, where people are starting to realize that people that used to call crazy and conspiracy theorists aren't as crazy as you really thought. They're actually way more based with GHB. They're actually way more closer to the truth, or way closer to the truth than anybody else thought. So let's go to some comments of a previous video I did. This is Ellen DeGeneres may be finally held responsible. Ellen isn't even a lizard human. She's one of the crab people from South Park. I think I've read some of these. Here, let's scroll down some more. It's a missed opportunity. None of the people working for her show didn't do some hidden body cams. Oh man, that's so true. You should have done that. They claimed Anne Heche died at the scene, but you could see her alive and kicking on the gurney. That's what I'm saying, dude. Power attracts evil. That's why I love YouTube so much, dude. I love, because I don't have a network telling me what I got to talk about, what I got to cover. I come up with these episodes on my own. I talk about the things I want to talk about. Her ex-girlfriend didn't pass away in that crash. She was alive when they tried to zip her up in that black bag. We saw it live from the helicopter. Also, Ellen had a girlfriend that dies in an accident just before her career took off. Literally a bad car crash. How many execs do you have that have died in tragic ways? Car accidents. Educational purposes only. They say Ellen was Kuru. There was a video of Anne Heche sitting up in the back of the ambulance. Don't know if it is now, but it was an aerial footage. Neither it was from the ground. Do Oprah Winfrey? Oh, I need to do Oprah next, huh? I know Ellen was bad years ago. I didn't know how bad. Don't look at her face or her body language or how she talks. Look at her eyes. When she talks, smiles, moves. As a teen, I used to say Ellen degenerate as a joke about her and her show. Look where we are now. It's crazy. You are not getting anywhere listening to Rosie O'Donnell. I thought that Mr. Barlow from Salem's Lot in the thumbnail, R.I.P. Danny Glick. Found face down in Ricky Lake, another female talk show host from the 90s. When you see the footage of Anne Heche on a gurney being rolled out into the EMT vehicle and she sits up and starts trying to fight, you know something evil is going on. Sources have never addressed the video showing her not dead. They simply keep repeating she died in a car accident. Ellen aged dramatically after the supply of jerky ran out. Oh my God. But dude, it's just a crazy world we live in right now. It's a really, really, really wild world that we live in right now. And as I get further into this rabbit hole, I'm starting to realize there's a lot of foul play. And this is something I really wasn't... I mean, I knew about the Epstein files. I knew stuff was coming out. And I decided to cover one video for you guys. And so far, you guys have really enjoyed it. So let me know if you want me to cover some more of these. Let me know anybody else you'd like me to cover. Oprah Winfrey. If you want more Ellen videos, whatever it may be, let me know in the comments, and then I'll try to feature that on the next episode. That way I can cover that topic for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's always good to have you guys out, man. Until next time. Peace.
Enough said. Enough said.